Behind McLaren's polished image, cracks appear. Norris thrives, Piastri struggles, and the paddock wonders. Has the team's promise of equal treatment begun to unravel under championship pressure? In the unfolding drama of Formula One, Jos Verstappen has raised fresh concerns about McLaren's performance. He points to what he describes as a clear difference in how the team's cars are behaving on track. An observation that comes as Oscar Piastri's championship hopes continue to slip away. The setback in Las Vegas was particularly damaging. Both McLarens were disqualified after excessive rear plank wear, a technical failure that erased their results from a race ultimately won by Max Verstappen. Yet even before that, Piastri had struggled to match the pace of his teammate Lando Norris, finishing outside the podium for 6 consecutive rounds. For Verstappen Sr., the pattern is unmistakable. Earlier this month, he urged Piastri to speak out about his downturn. Now, he signals once again that something deeper may be wrong within McLaren's camp. He also suggests that the mounting pressure from Red Bull's resurgence may have played a role in the costly misjudgment made under the lights of Las Vegas. It is a moment that raises questions, not only about McLaren's technical execution, but about the psychological toll of a season where the balance of power is shifting. The pressure at McLaren is now full on, and they will feel that, Jos explained to Formula1.nl. It is still the case that if Max wins the remaining races and Norris comes second every time, then Norris will be world champion. But Oscar Piastri is also still there, and he won't be very happy at this point either. You can see a clear difference between both McLarens on the track, how they go through corners. One slides, the other doesn't, and that raises questions as well. Throughout Saturday's race, a striking image emerged. Both Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris trailing showers of sparks beneath their cars. It was a spectacle that captivated the crowd, but behind the drama lay a deeper uncertainty, prompting the question of whether those sparks were merely a visual flourish or a warning sign of something far more consequential. This is a big mistake by McLaren, a huge blunder, yes, Verstappen Sr. added, because why would you really go to the limit like that? Maybe it really was a mistake, but maybe otherwise, the car just doesn't work as well, and they have to do this. As Jos Verstappen continues to sharpen his criticism of McLaren's missteps, the consequences ripple far beyond the team itself. Each error has not only exposed vulnerabilities within their operation, but has simultaneously cleared a path for his son. Max Verstappen now stands on the brink of history, with the prospect of a 5th consecutive driver's title looming larger than ever. I spoke to Max before leaving. He already knew then that they would be disqualified, he divulged. As the championship battle moves to Qatar, the standings tell a story of remarkable tension. Max Verstappen sits on 366 points, locked in a tie with Oscar Piastri for second place. Both trail the leader, Lando Norris, by 24 points. A margin that keeps the title fight alive. Yet Jos Verstappen is quick to remind observers that the numbers alone cannot capture the scale of his son's journey. Earlier in the season, Max was more than 100 points adrift of Piastri after 15 rounds. To have clawed his way back into contention is, in Jos's words, nothing short of monumental. It is a narrative of resilience and resurgence, one that underscores how swiftly fortunes can shift in Formula One and how the pursuit of a title often becomes a test of endurance as much as speed. In any case, it's going to be a hugely exciting end of the season, and for Max, everything has to fall right. But he still has nothing to lose and can go full for the attack, and he will. On the McLaren side, Oscar Piastri has drawn a firm line. The Australian dismissed what he described as a brief discussion within McLaren about potentially aiding Lando Norris in his pursuit of the Drivers' Championship. The timing could not be more dramatic. Following disqualification in Las Vegas for excessive plank wear, both Piastri and Norris saw their points erased, leaving Max Verstappen victorious and tied with Piastri on 366. Norris remains just 24 points ahead, with only 2 rounds left, beginning under the desert lights of Qatar. McLaren's philosophy this season has been clear. Treat both drivers equally, allowing each to chase their own ambitions. Yet whispers from within the Woking camp suggest that balance may have been tested, with the idea floated of Piastri stepping aside to shield Norris from Verstappen's charge. Piastri, however, rejected the notion outright. Speaking ahead of the race, he insisted that his own title hopes remain alive. It is a defiant stance, one that underscores not only his belief in his ability, but the fragile unity within a team caught between loyalty to its principles and the lure of championship glory. "We've had a very brief discussion on it, and the answer is no," he said. "I'm still equal on points with Max, and I've got a decent shot of still winning it if things go my way. So, yeah, that's how we'll play." When pressed on whether the atmosphere within his camp had shifted, Oscar Piastri offered a candid admission. His chances of claiming the championship, he conceded, had grown far slimmer than before. Yet he remained defiant, insisting that surrender would only come when the mathematics left him no alternative. It is a statement that reflects both the narrowing margins of the title fight and the unyielding resolve of a driver unwilling to bow to circumstance. "I think there's still a chance, and it's played out that way a couple of times before, so I know it's not impossible," he assessed. "Obviously, I also know that it's a bit of an outside shot. Even if I have a perfect final 2 weekends, I can't just rely on that. I need other things to go my way, and I'm very aware of that. So I think for me, I'm just going to try and have the best weekends I can, which I try and do every weekend, and see what happens to everyone else, basically." With only 3 races remaining, including Saturday's sprint, the opportunities for Oscar Piastri to sustain his championship challenge are narrowing. Each outing now carries immense weight. Yet when asked if the stakes feel more critical than ever, Piastri's response was unwavering. His mentality, he explained, has not shifted. The objective remains the same as it has all season: to approach every race with the singular aim of victory. It is a philosophy that speaks to his resilience and to the uncompromising mindset required when the margins of success grow razor thin. "Not necessarily, no," he said. "I mean, I think every weekend you try to get the best result you can, and whether that's round 1 or round 23, that's the same mentality. So, obviously, yes, I know what the state of play is in terms of the championship picture, but ultimately, the best way of keeping my hopes in as good a shape as I can is trying to go out and win and get the best results I can." As the desert lights prepare to shine on Qatar, the championship narrative tightens into its final act. With pressure mounting and rivalries sharpening, one question remains: whose resilience will define this season's legacy? Max, Norris, or Piastri?